idea from the book came from the fact that, I got to the point where I got tired of the ideas that people put on you. And I want to shed a little light on, okay, yes, this person may be this, they may be that, but this person might have a gift, and you need to acknowledge that. So that's where the purpose of the book, it just hit me. And one day I was actually sitting, you'll like this.
Okay.
I was sitting in church. Imagine that.
Wow.
I was sitting in church.
Wow.
Woo! And that's where I got the idea.
Get on back.
Tell it. So I was sitting in church, and I heard a individual speaking, and he was just going off about some people in the congregation, which was kind of wow. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm sure they made a mistake, but that person has a soul too. They have a right to make a mistake and try to make up for the mistake that they made. Mm-hmm. If they look at it as a mistake, it could be a growing pain or something that helped them out, that helped them develop into a better person. So that's where the thought of the book came in.
So it seems to me that the inspiration for this book came from a non-judgmental thought pattern.
There you go. There you go.
So we can be enlightened by reading this book. Tell me a little bit about the book.
Well, that's kind of broad. You need to specify.
Specify?
What you mean. Yes, sir.
Well, it says sinners have a soul too. So that obviously came from a thought that you had when you were sitting in church. So how much of this book is you? Shall I?
Well, let me say this. About 90%. Because, you have to change names and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So that's the only thing in there that's not me. Mm-hmm. The name changes. But, see? But,
right.
But that's about it.
Okay. Share some of the experience. And I don't want you to dive into all that the book, because the book is how many pages? It's
about 590 pages.
It's about 500 and how many?
90 pages.
500 and this is a literary work. This ain't no paperback. This ain't no newspaper, no newsletter, booklet, leaflet, none of that. This is a 590-page piece of art that you wrote. So I want you to just kind of talk about some of the experiences that you share in the book.
Well, the book is a chronicle.
Okay.
It's a chronicle of experiences I've always had with women. And it leads to a point. One afternoon, I just happened to be sitting up, just depressed, hard on my luck. And you know how it is, man. You got to pay that rent, you got to pay those bills, and the money's just not coming in. And one afternoon, I was sitting with a really good friend of mine, and we were looking through the paper, and it said, entertainers wanted. So, me, I'm thinking, okay, maybe they want me to deliver some newspapers, hand out some flyers. Nope. All it was an ad for strippers. And that is where the journey began. And for a person like myself who had very low self-esteem, probably weighed about $146, and who wasn't sure of himself at all, this was a means for me to feel good about myself, because when I stepped into that club, I became a different person. I became somebody. It felt like I was somebody, and it built me into a better person. At least I believe so. And after that, it launched me into a whole nother category of work that I would have never thought I would experience in my whole life. And in this society, people look upon it as it's immoral. And I'm sure you're familiar with escorting. Yes. Mm-hmm. So with the stripping came the escorting, and the escorting was minimal at first. It was very minimal. A little money here, a little money there. But you meet the right people, and they set you up, and then you become, a high cost escort. So it was a great experience. I wouldn't trade it for the world, and that's what the book is about. It chronicles my experiences from the beginning, when I was just a teen, to the end, to now. So, and it does chronicle some of the situations that I've had with some of my clients, old clients that I had. So it goes into great detail, and on the website, of course, there is a sample, so you can go on and look at it.
Okay, and what is that website?
And that is www.rajaesmart.com. So it's got a lot of great feedback, and it's very detailed, as I said. Well, actually, you've read it, so you know exactly what I mean.
I know exactly what you meant.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So it was a great experience. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I went from low end clients to high end clients, and it was a great experience because I could become whoever I wanted to. Whoever they wanted me to become, that's what I would become. And during my personal life, that's when I still couldn't get things together. But that other life, which was actually me, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. So I kind of live between two personalities, and those who know me know the other one is Bruce Wayne, and then there's the Dark Knight. So,
there is the Dark Knight.
Exactly.
There is the
So
Dark Knight.
it was a lot. It was a lot.
Right,
It was a lot. So now, I'm an educator, which is very ironic. So it just blows things out of water.
About how long did it take for you to finish the book, and about what period of time does the journey span on? Because this 590-page journey ain't no walk in the park.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not a jog around the block either. So, I mean, about how long did it take for you, first of all, to finish the book, and then about how many years do you think that it kind of spans?
Well, not to sound raunchy or anything, but from the first wet dream at 12 years old all the way up to now, and now I'm 34. Okay. So it spans that whole period of time. It only took me 2 years to put the book together, actually, just looking through the notes and whatnot. But, it chronicles my whole life as a young teen, because people look at you now and say, well, you're such a nice young man, but they don't look at what you were, And sometimes when people find out what you were, they look at you differently. And in my mind, it doesn't really matter, because if you look at me now and you say, okay, I'm that nice young man, then you acknowledge that what I went through wasn't in vain. Right. So,
well, we are the sum of our experiences. Last time I checked. So that means there's some good stuff, some bad stuff, and different stuff that takes place.
That's true. In theory, that's great. Yeah.
However, there's the finite human mind and how one-dimensional we sometimes act.
Exactly.
And we treat people out of a judgmental mindset, judging them based upon mistakes that they made or what we would see as mistakes, and not seeing them as experiences that cause us to blossom.
Exactly.
You've got a teenager. Every teenager is going to do something that's irresponsible and, if you will, stupid. But they learn from that experience.
Right.
And you trying to shield them from it doesn't help them to grow.
Right.
It only protects them and keeps them from that experience. Right. So parents, this is some information for you. Don't try to shield your kids from too much. Let them go through some stuff and bump their head. They'll be all right. They will be all right. Mr. Smart, this journey, I'm excited about it for you. Give us the website again.
www.rajaesmart.com. That's RAJAH, E as in Edward, SMART.com.
All right. You heard it here first on Common Ground. Get the book, Sinners Have a Soul Too. Until next time, I'm Jarvis Richardson, your host, with my guest, Raja E. Smart, and trying to let you know that when people come together for the good of the community, they're on common ground. Have a good one. Good night.
Vision at its best. And the Paul H. and Angela R. Herring Fund, determined to make a difference. Also by the Juneteenth Committee, asking African Americans to join the village, and the Kwanzaa Committee, asking residents to bring the holiday home. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of our volunteer staff and or supporters.
Somebody tell me why we do the things we do in church. When you know it hurts.